This is a story all about how our lives got flipped and turned upside down. So we thought we'd take a minute, just sit right there, and tell you how we became the owners of a place called StoneTree. So one of the most common questions we always get is, how'd you guys come up with the name?
So when we were coming up with the name, we decided to take a look at what our goals were as a business, and we decided that our mission was growing the seeds of the local scene. And we thought, well, trees grow, so it fit. And then we were thinking about the parable from the Bible where you had the wise man that builds his house on the sand, and then the other one that built it on the stone, and well, it didn't work out well for the other guy, so we went with that. As for the creation of the business itself, that actually happened by accident.
Flashback to 2014 when I was a sophomore.
I was a junior.
And I had to take an elective, and I really wanted to be in theater with my good friend Dimming here.
I was a junior.
Fortunately, my schedule wouldn't work because I was in choir and it just wouldn't match up right. So I had to choose photography. I thought they would provide a nice camera for me, but I was wrong, unfortunately. So I asked my parents to spend all of my birthday money on a really nice Sony camera. I really wanted to make some of that money back, so I came to my good friend Dimming and I said, Dimming, you drive, I don't drive. I have a camera, you don't have a camera. Let's take pictures and split the money. To which he said,
Schwa! I actually have a really nice camera that I have not mentioned until conveniently this moment.
That's some really great plot armor.
And thus the studio was born. So flash forward a little bit of time to Joshua's actual birthday, which he got nothing except for a pie, and in result of the camera. And we actually went out to Hartford to do our first shoot for a show, unpaid, of course, and it was completely freezing. We went out there with our friend DJ, and we had a lot of fun, except for the part where we almost got hit in the head with bass guitars.
Oh, yeah.
And
almost got attacked by Bowser.
We got attacked by Bowser. We froze every one of our phalanges back. Luckily, we're lizards. They grew back. And that was our first photo shoot. You can't find those pictures anywhere.
Thank God. Around that same time, we started recording with our band, Nothing Is Sound, at our drummer's
dad's house.
This is our first time that we've gotten any kind of
experience
with studio equipment. It was a pretty small setup, but it was, nice equipment. So this eventually was a segue into us building a studio, but that comes later.
After operating without a name for a while as a business, we started recording a bunch of local bands that we knew and doing video work for them.
And I was actually doing all of this video editing on my laptop in school, so I kept getting in trouble with the teachers for not paying attention, and all of my grades were, I was flunking. So I went to my parents and I said, hey, Mom and Dad, how would you feel if I dropped out of school, started a business, and took the world by the balls? And they said, well, do you have a good plan? And I said, no, but here's what I'm working with. And they said, okay. So after I dropped out, we started thinking about how we were recording over at Max's dad's house. We decided if we could do it on that scale, why couldn't we just do it here and make it a part of the business?
So then we started recording this band, and this really became a crucial moment in our history because even though our recording skills weren't the best, they told us that we were some of their favorite producers they'd ever worked with because we focused on what they needed. And this became a really big stepping stone for our idea and our theology of putting the artist first.
So after a little while of having the studio open, we worked with multiple bands on and off. We finally released our first project.
But it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows from there because we learned a lot of hard lessons and found out business isn't that easy. So we knew we were going to need some help.
So in 2015, we decided to reach out to the people that we were already talking to, but decided to work with them in a more official manner and brought them in on the business.
And we built a booth!
After bringing everybody into the business, we decided that we were going to become a one-stop shop. We had graphic designers, multiple photographers, a couple of producers, we did videos, shows, music work, blah!
Everything.
So after that, we got our LLP and we started meeting with all sorts of different advisors, and one of those advisors told us the one-stop shop,
not
gonna
happening.
happen. Not at all.
No way. So we took his advice, and we decided that we were going to dial back on that and kind of become a communal referral system. We had a lot of people in here still. They were always hanging out anyway. And in other words, we continued doing the exact same thing with different titles. So after we decided to no longer be a one-stop shop, we decided to focus on the studio a little bit more. And doing that, we wanted to bring in more producers, so we had more creative minds, more production styles, so on and so forth.
So we decided to host an open house. An open house where we would invite anybody who was interested in music or photography or anything creative like that to possibly join our team, or maybe Madison at Ambitious Cloud's team, or just anything like that.
And when we actually had this open house, we realized that's not what's happening. We started seeing a bunch of people talking to each other. Who would have guessed?
Not me.
And it was really awesome. We felt like we were actually starting to create the community. This kind of felt like the actual seeds being planted that we discussed earlier on in the video.
Tree.
Ha. So now everything's kind of coming together. This is our purpose, and we'll continue moving forward with that. And then after that, we shut down.
So in 2017, we reopened with new equipment, new paint, and a new wall.
New doors, new skills,
And soundproofing! So after reopening, things were going really well and the socials were a big success, but something just didn't quite feel right.
For some reason, it just didn't feel like the focus was as focused as it needed to be. With so many people involved, while it created a really cool atmosphere, things kind of started getting blurred. So, in the best interest of everybody involved, we decided to split ways with a lot of our employees and focus on 4 main people in the business.
Since then, those 4 people have been focused on specific tasks within the business. I myself have been doing a lot of the branding stuff,
Sergio and I have been focusing on in-studio work and audio engineering.
and Daniel has been doing our freelance mixing for us.
So now that you're all caught up on the history of StoneTree, here's some of the things that we're doing now.
Since we're on the Arts Council, we're working with them to try to create an art center for our community of fishers. We're also changing our business to a people over profit mindset, which you can find out more about on our last video. And the other thing we're doing is trying to create a storefront.
So before you go, please check us out on social media and check out Tommy Lingo's new EP, Romance and Vis-a-Vis, Maulyfe's new single, Route, and Ejaaz's new single, Trends.
Oh God, I went for it.